I convinced my hot stepmom to make a stuck in the washing machine prank video, but my dad walked in and asked if he could join. The air in the laundry room was thick with the scent of lavender fabric softener and rising panic. My phone was propped precariously on a folded stack of towels, the little red recording light blinking like a nervous eye. Chloe, my stepmom, was wedged halfway into the front-loading machine, her yoga pants stretched taut over her hips. She was a good sport, she really was. When I'd pitched the idea, rambling about viral potential and comedic timing, she just laughed that easy, musical laugh of hers and said, "All right, Leo, for your channel, but if I get a cramp, you're massaging it out." We were in the middle of a take, her feigned cries for help sounding surprisingly realistic, when the door from the garage squeaked open. We both froze. It was that specific squeak, the one that meant my dad was home from the firm. I could already feel the familiar lecture forming in the air, the one about getting a real job and not turning his house into a content farm. Chloe tried to subtly pull herself out of the machine, but she was genuinely a little stuck now. The color was draining from her face. My dad, Mark, stood in the doorway, his tie loosened and his briefcase hanging from his hand like a dead weight. He just stared for a long, silent moment. I saw his eyes move from my phone to Chloe's predicament and then to me. His face was unreadable, a blank mask of tired, middle-aged disappointment. I opened my mouth to try and explain, to somehow frame this as a normal, sane activity, but he spoke first. "What's the gag?" he asked, his voice flat. He stepped into the small room, making it feel suddenly claustrophobic. It's a prank video, Dad," I stammered. "Like, stepson, I'm stuck. You know, it's a classic." He nodded slowly, his gaze still fixed on Chloe, who was now looking anywhere but at him. "Right, a classic." He set his briefcase down with a soft thud. The silence stretched again, thick and suffocating. I was about to just kill the recording and call it a day, maybe a lifetime, when he looked at me, a strange glint in his eye. That's when he said it, the question that completely derailed my universe. "Can I join?" I just blinked. "What?" Chloe made a small, choked sound from inside the washing machine. "Mark, honey, I don't think—" "No, I'm serious," he said, cutting her off. But his tone wasn't angry. It was something else, something earnest. It was 1,000 times worse. He looked at me, at the phone. "I want to be a part of it. I see you doing these things around the house with your lights and your scripts. I'm always at work. I want to be involved in your life, Leo, in what you do." He gestured vaguely at Chloe. "So, how can I help? Do I find her like this? Do I try to help and get stuck too? We could both be stuck. Would that be funnier?" My brain felt like it was short-circuiting. My dad, the man who thought TikTok was a type of clock, was pitching alternate scenarios for a stuck-in-the-washing-machine video featuring his wife. He was looking at me with this hopeful, desperate expression, like a dad trying to learn the rules of a video game his kid loves. He genuinely thought this was our chance to bond. Chloe was trying to mouth the word no at me from her metallic prison, her eyes wide with a kind of terror I'd never seen before. The red light on my phone kept blinking, steadily, capturing every single excruciating second of this family bonding nightmare. My dad took another step forward, a small, hopeful smile on his face. "So what do you think, champ? What's my role?" My mouth opened and closed like a fish.
The word champ echoed in the tiny bleach-scented room. It was the word he used when I was 10 and he was teaching me to throw a baseball, a word that belonged to a different lifetime, a different father-son relationship. Hearing it now, in this context, felt like a violation. My dad, Mark, the corporate lawyer who measured life in billable hours and quarterly reports, was looking at me with the eager eyes of a puppy waiting for a command. He genuinely wanted to know his role in the stuck stepmom video. The absurdity was so profound it almost circled back around to being serious. Chloe's frantic, silent pleas from the drum of the machine were the only thing keeping me tethered to reality. "Dad?" I started, my voice cracking. I think the bit's over. We can just cut. I made a slicing motion with my hand, hoping he'd understand the universal language of directors everywhere. He didn't. He just saw it as a cue. His face lit up. No, this is the best part. The improv. Action. Before I could protest, he dropped to one knee beside the washing machine with a theatrical thud. He leaned in close to Chloe, his voice booming with a terrible soap opera sincerity. "My darling, what's happened? Are you stuck?" He looked over his shoulder and gave a huge conspiratorial wink directly at my phone. I felt my soul trying to leave my body. Chloe's voice was tight with real panic now. "Mark, please, my leg is actually cramping up." Her words were a desperate whisper, but my dad was on a roll. He was in his own world, a world where he was the cool, relatable father. "Fear not, my sweet," he declared, grabbing the waistband of her yoga pants. "Your hero is here to save you." He started to pull, not gently. He was trying to leverage her out, and the sight of my dad in his work slacks and button-down shirt trying to yank his wife out of a washing machine by her Lululemons while winking at a camera was the single most horrifying moment of my entire life. That's when the dam broke. "Stop!" The word ripped out of my throat, raw and loud. "Dad, just stop it! What are you doing?" I lunged forward and smacked the stop record button on my phone, plunging the screen into darkness and the room into a sudden ringing silence. My dad froze, his hand still on Chloe's pants, his face a mask of pure confusion. He looked wounded. He said, "I was helping. I was being part of the gag." The air was thick with the death of the joke. Chloe used the moment to finally wrench herself free, tumbling out onto the linoleum floor with a pained gasp. She scrambled to her feet, rubbing her calf and refusing to look at either of us. I need some water," she mumbled, before practically fleeing the laundry room. We were left alone, me and my dad, standing over the empty washing machine that now felt like a crime scene. His performative energy was gone, replaced by a deflated, hollow look. "I don't understand, Leo," he said quietly, straightening his tie. "I was just trying to connect, to be in your world for a minute." And that's what broke me. It wasn't about him being cringy or embarrassing me. It was that he was so lost, so desperate to find a way into my life that he thought this was it. He thought the path to his son's heart was through a viral prank video? "My world?" I shot back, my voice trembling with frustration I'd been bottling up for years. "Dad, you call my world a content farm? You think this is all a joke? You wanted to join the gag? This whole thing, my channel, my life, it's all one big gag to you, isn't it?" He just stared at me, and for the first time, I saw past the lawyer, past the disappointed father.
"I just saw a man who looked tired and sad." "No," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "It's the only part of your life you ever let me see." He didn't say anything else. He just picked up his briefcase from the floor and walked out, leaving me alone with the blinking standby light on the washer and the ghost of our conversation. Later that night, I sat in my room, the footage loaded on my computer. I watched it all. The goofy setup with Chloe, the panic in her eyes, my dad's cringe-worthy entrance, his terrible acting, his hopeful, clueless face. I saw my own horrified expression, and then I saw the moment it all fell apart. It wasn't a prank video. It was a 3-minute documentary about a family trying and failing to speak the same language. It was painful, and it was real, and it was probably the most compelling thing I have ever recorded. It could be my masterpiece, or it could be the thing that shatters the fragile piece we have left. So now I have this file on my desktop, this digital record of our private train wreck, and I have to decide what to do with it. Is there a line you shouldn't cross for the sake of a story, even if it's the most honest one you'll ever get to tell? Let us know in the comments.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new stories every day.